Audi's Q7 and Q8 large SUVs aren't the freshest on the block. In the case of the Q7 to my left, we're here for its second facelift and 9th year in production, whereas the Q8 has been in production for 6 years. And for those that don't know, the Q7 and Q8 also share their underpinnings with a broad group of vehicles in the Volkswagen group, from Volkswagen Touareg to Porsche Cayenne all the way up to the Lamborghini Urus. Still, I think these big SUVs have a little bit of their own charm. In blocky 7-seater form, we're going to check out the SQ7, and in sleek 5-seat, we'll take a quick brief look at the SQ8 as well. The SQ7 sits at the top of the facelifted range, while the SQ8 remains one rung down from the flagship RSQ8. Both arrive with small discounts to their base prices, but still packing plenty of equipment. 22-inch alloy wheels, heated and ventilated front seats, 4-zone climate control, a 17-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system, full-length sunroof and leather upholstery are just a couple of highlights. The sensory pack seems a logical choice, bundling a 23-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system with dynamic headlining, massage seats, extended leather and rear sunshades for $14,400. Another major option is the $10,900 dynamic package with active roll stabilization and Quattro Sport rear diff. Standalone options include HD matrix LED and laser headlights combined with customizable OLED rear signatures and black exterior styling packages you can see on this grey car. Incidentally, the as-tested price with all of those extras is $209,215. That's over $30,000 worth of extras over the base price. At the front, the facelift is fairly subtle, but I think it gives that extra menace to the front end of the SQ7. With this new grille design, we've got the black pack on this particular model and this rather sweet-looking 2D Audi emblem. We move along the side here to the headlights. Now they're really trick on the SQ7. We've got HD matrix LED headlights, which have been around for a little while, but they're combined with a laser light as well. And we tested it last night. It just means the whole road is illuminated, and it's really fantastic, a great safety feature. Coming down the side, we've also got a new design of 22-inch alloy wheels, and on the SQ8 you can opt up to massive 23-inch alloys if you wish. So it's not the sleekest and sexiest looking SUV, but I guess that's why the SQ8 exists. It's kind of tall and bussy, this SQ7, but there are some really nice details on this facelift. Starting with the OLED taillights, which complement the matrix LEDs. They have all sorts of different signatures that you can choose from inside the car, and if someone comes up too close to you in traffic, they illuminate more, sort of giving them a little warning, so that's nice. For the rest of the back, this particular car, as I mentioned at the front, has the black package, which I think is a necessity, because otherwise this strip across here and the strip down here are both chrome. So I like the fact that it's smoked, and I think that really gives the rear end a little bit of a lift. You can tell it's an S model, of course, because it's got the quad tailpipes and it can tow 3.5 tons. So we've got that tow bar there, awesome for towing the boat. One last little thing I'll point out is that the badge spacing seems a little bit off to me. Why is there such a big space between the S and the Q7? I don't know, it looks like it's come back from the paint shop and someone's done a slightly dodgy job. I'd be moving those all close together if it was my car, but after all, that's a very minor criticism of what is otherwise a pretty cool looking car. There are a couple of words I can think of to describe the SQ7's cabin. Classy, elegant, restrained, all sort of work. What I wouldn't say is that this car feels old money though. It feels very fresh, very new. It's got a lot of piano black, it's got a lot of aluminium trim inserts, and you've got the sportiness in terms of the red stitching in this particular vehicle, which is optional, and you've got matching red seat belts. So it's got that kind of sporty, athletic vibe, kind of like a dad in a tracksuit, but in a good way. You've also got cool design details such as the Bang & Olufsen 23-speaker sound system, which has these awesome little tweeters that pop up when you start the car. The sound system itself is really powerful, really strong, really crisp, and offers a lot of adjustment as well. Other design aspects do feel a little bit aged, though not to be confused with dated, because although this 10.1-inch touchscreen is a little bit small, it's combined with the really clever addition of a climate control only panel down here. It's 8.6 inches in size, so while it doesn't have the screen size in one module as a Volkswagen Touareg, for example, it is very functional. I also love the fact that Audi has kept their haptic touch feedback in the MMI touchscreen for this vehicle. It's a really helpful little guidance when you're touching the screen, looking for the fairly large touch targets in the inbuilt system. You get this really nice clicky little feedback, and that just gives you a little bit of extra confidence when you're using it while you're on the move. Obviously, it's quite expensive to implement, which is why you don't see it in more cars, so I'm glad it's still here. You've also got niceties like wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto that also work through the 2 USB-C fast charging ports under this nice, broad and comfortable armrest, which then brings me on to the practicalities of the SQ7, which do feel a little bit behind some of its newer rivals. For example, the door bins aren't particularly huge, and under this nice little piano black flip-up cover, you've got fairly small cup holders, which are good for a small coffee, but not much else, and there's not that much thoughtful, practical storage in this vehicle. Under the armrest, the tray is pretty shallow. So for a big car, you might expect a little bit more storage, but still it does what it needs to do, and there are some really quality touches. The materials, for example, the leather, the smell, it's really nice to get into this car. It feels quality. Right down to the way that the power window switches work. They have this nice, soft, gentle start. It's almost like a ramp up. It's obviously very carefully considered to make the vehicle feel like a luxury model, and I think it does. You've also got soft closed doors, all of which add up to make this Audi feel pretty much worth the asking price of about 200 grand once you've optioned it. Space in the back of the Q7 is predictably huge. I've got plenty of room back here at 188 centimeters, loads of legroom, loads of tow room, and plenty of headroom under this panoramic sunroof, which also opens. As for amenities, we're very well catered for back here with 2 climate zones, vents here and also in the side of the B-pillars, so you can stay nice and cool or warm. You've got this lovely leather upholstery that continues in the back here. The seats slide forwards and backward, and they've also got adjustable backrests. You've got map pockets, these lovely screens that are built into the doors so you don't have to buy aftermarket ones, nice materials, and pretty high quality construction. You've also got heating for both outboard seats, which complement the 3-stage heating and cooling in the front seats as well. Once you've figured out how to get all the powered seats out of the way, the third row is quite spacious, certainly generous enough for kids. You've got 2 Isofix tabs back here, and even adults could fit back here in a pinch if they needed to. My head is just touching the roof, but at least it's a nice suede headliner. While the SQ8 sacrifices about 100 litres of boot space to the huge SQ7, it's still got plenty of cargo space. Both cars get 40-20-40 split fold backrests, buttons to raise or lower the suspension, high quality materials and power tailgates. There's no spare wheel here though. A familiar 4-litre twin-turbo V8 gets the SQ7 from 0 to 100 km an hour in 4.1 seconds and onto a top speed of 250 km an hour. The rated fuel consumption for the SQ7 is 11.8 litres per 100 k's, which means you can expect to travel around 720 kilometres from a full 85-litre tank of 98 RON unleaded. We saw closer to 16 litres per 100 k's on the trip computer though, so your mileage may indeed vary. At the heart of the SQ7 is a 4-litre twin-turbo petrol V8. The car moved from diesel to petrol in about 2022 in Australia, and honestly I think that's all for the better because you still get plenty of torque. 770 newton meters is the quoted figure, and power rises to 373 kilowatts. It also sounds fantastic. I'll get to indulge a little bit more when we get out of town, but you can hear that lovely sort of offbeat V8 rumble. It's smooth enough without being too gruff. It's not a motorsporty engine, and I think that really suits the character of the SQ7 very well indeed. Other standard features include the 8-speed automatic, which has been retuned for the facelift, and it's also running on air suspension as standard. That comes on the SQ7 and the SQ8. You can optionally spend a little over 10 grand to get the dynamic package, which this car has, and that combines the air suspension with an active roll stabilization program, as well as a Quattro Sport limited slip rear differential. So it's an E-diff, and it's a clever diff that can shuffle power around and sort of torque vector between the rear axle. Now, if you're sort of the driver that wants a comfortable car, wants something that is easy to drive, quick enough, then I would say the Dynamic Plus pack isn't really necessary. But if you like going around corners in any way, shape or form, you've got to tick the box. We drove the SQ8 yesterday, which is not fitted with the Dynamic Plus pack, and you can definitely tell the difference. It doesn't drive out of corners with quite as much purpose, as much feel. It doesn't get the rear involved as much, and you can definitely feel a little bit more roll. Even though the air suspension, you can tell, is trying to negate that anyway. The 48-volt system with the active roll control is really awesome, seriously impressive, considering the sheer weight and size of a vehicle like this. to be able to thread it through corners with confidence more than anything, because you don't really want ultimate road feel in a vehicle like this. What you want is confidence and stability, and in conjunction with the four-wheel steer, which gives a little bit of help in turning in the corners in low speed and also stabilizes the vehicle at higher speeds, the SQ7 just feels so well suited to the bumpy roads that we're driving on around here in the Southern Highlands. We'll jump into individual dynamic now, tip it through a little corner, strong brakes, 400 millimeters with 6 piston calipers. You can get carbon ceramics, but I mean, you're not going to take this thing to the track really, or at least not majorly. You might do it to have a little bit of fun with your mates every now and again, but I think carbon ceramics is probably an unnecessary indulgence. But that V8 is so sweet, so smooth, so quick. It's that real, I know it's a cliche, iron fist in a velvet glove, but it really does suit this car, because then we can go straight back to comfort. The air suspension softens off, and I must say we were driving around town yesterday as well, and it's pretty well insulated. At high speeds on coarse chip, these Continental Sport Contact tyres do have a little bit of roar, especially because they're fitted to big 22-inch alloy wheels. And there is a firmness to the ride that is amplified further in the SQ8, which is stiffer again, a little bit more bobbly, a little bit more jiggly than this car. But for the sort of vehicle it is, a sportier model, you kind of expect that. And it's not like it's unpleasant. And the wheels really get out of your way when you hit bigger, unexpected bumps on country roads late at night and all that sort of thing. The steering can be a little bit woolly, I will say, certainly in comfort mode, but amping it up to dynamic, which you should do if you're driving quickly, really does bring a little bit of extra involvement to it. So yeah, I guess that really sums up the whole Audi S experience. That's what this vehicle is supposed to do. It's supposed to offer comfort, daily usability, and a sort of hidden punch. It's like you have all of this confidence in this vehicle because the transmission is responsive, the engine is powerful, the brakes are strong, the handling is great. So if you need to get out of a sticky situation, you could plant the throttle, hit the brakes, turn it in, and it really does have your back in that sense. It's a pleasant car to drive without being ridiculous, overly involving, or particularly shouty. And I think that's why it does work in the range, even next to the Touareg, the Urus, the Cayenne. The Q7 has its own little niche, and this SQ7 hits all those buttons really very well. The SQ7 is currently unrated by ANCAP, though Euro NCAP awarded the Q7 a 5-star rating in 2019. It has 8 airbags along with driver assist features like blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist and adaptive cruise control, though we found the lane keep assist a little annoying. Luckily, it's easy to turn off if you want. Audi backs both models with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty. You can prepay for service packs with 5 years costing about $4,600 for both cars. Additionally, you can pay for 2 extra years of warranty and servicing together for a little over $4,000. That means you can extend the warranty up to 9 years. The Audi SQ7 and SQ8 are both interesting packages. In the SQ7's case, it's getting a little bit long in the tooth, and there are other vehicles on this platform. For example, the Volkswagen Touareg, which is cheaper, the Porsche Cayenne, which is about the same price but sportier to drive, and then there's the Bentley Bentayga, which is more expensive and more luxurious. So what's the point of the SQ7? Well, it actually strikes a nice balance, and it's quite a pragmatic large luxury SUV, if there can be such a thing. It does everything you need of a family, you've got 7 seats, plenty of space, and it has this really satisfying feeling of being an iron fist in a velvet glove. I know it's a little bit cliche, but that punchy 373 kilowatt V8 combined with that lovely, comfy suspension and the ability to really get a hustle on through a twisty set of corners is seriously impressive. Air suspension is a wonderful thing. For my money though, I think I'd go for the SQ8. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section down below, what you'd go for, whether or not you have bought one of these two, and while you're down there, hit subscribe to the CarsGuide YouTube channel, and if you need any more information on both of these vehicles, make sure to head over to carsguide.com.au.